to the dressing room door and turning round to the lads saying, see you Monday, lads, thinking just Sunday's a day off, innit? Like, and he goes, where do you think you're going, shithouse? So I says, I'm going home. Where's home? I said, I live in Barnsley. He said, my house, tomorrow morning, bring your boots, and it would help if you bring your fucking gloves as well. So I walks up, knocks at the back door, and his wife answers. Barbara, yeah, come in, I'll make you a cup of tea, slice of toast, she says. So anyway, he comes downstairs, rugby shirt, green sweater, blue tracky bottoms, pair of wellies on, tennis racket in his hand. Dog goes and sits at side of him. He goes, I won't call you shithouse, 'cause Barbara's here, but I'd like to say thank you. So I goes, what for? Simon Clough is the manager of a Division 5 Sunday League team in Derbyshire Sunday League. You know what's coming, don't you? Thank you for agreeing to play for Simon's team this morning. They haven't got a goalkeeper, and I thought you'd do, son. So I goes, no problem, it's Clough, innit? I'm not going to say no. So anyway, I get in car with Simon. There were 25 pictures all over. Dog shit, broken glass, you name it's on these pictures. I've played against Coventry at FA Cup day before. Newcastle, Liverpool 2 weeks before that. AC Hunters got fined 50 quid for playing a ringer, and that bastard took it out of my wages to pay for I swear to God.
I bumped into Bat Jennings. He said to me, he said, you used to work for Brian Clough, didn't you? I said, yeah. And he went into his breast pocket and pulled out this letter. He said, I got this letter from Brian Clough. And he had it with him at the time. Where did that come about? He said in 1978 or 79, can't remember which, he was playing for Arsenal, I think it was. And someone, Martin's got it, he's gone behind the Trent end to pick the ball up, and someone's thrown a dart from the crowd and it's stuck in his forearm. And in those days, you didn't make a big deal of it. Pat's just pulled it out of his arm, put it in his glove bag, gone in at half-time, had some antiseptic on it, and Don Howe said, this is outrageous. Don Howe's gone in to see Cloughie after the game and said, this is absolutely, your fans are a disgrace, blah, blah, blah. My goalkeeper's had a dart thrown at him, it's stuck in his arm, blah, blah, blah. And 2 days later, this letter arrived, headed notepaper, Nottingham Forest Football Club. Dear Pat, I have absolutely no sympathy for you whatsoever. Every time you come to the City ground, you stop everything that's come in your direction. It is no surprise to me you stopped the dart on this occasion. Lots of love, Brian. Showed me the letter and I thought, brilliant.
Because I signed a new contract when I come back from Manchester United as well, a 4-year contract, which was a blank contract, by the way. This is how loyal he was. He just ripped the contract up. We're going to give you a new one. Would you like a new one? Of course I'd like a new one, yeah. And I remember being in his office and he put the contract on the table and he said, sign that, son. And I said, I can't sign it, Gaffer. He said, why? I said, it's blank. There's nothing on it. He actually said to me, sign it or piss off and play for Barnsley. He said, I'll tell you what, son. He says, you've got 5 minutes. So I walks out of his office and I'm stood in the corridor and he's shouting, 4 minutes. So he ended up walking back in and I signed the blank contract. Oh, he looked after us. I signed the contract. He said, thank you for agreeing for working with me for the next 4 years. I go home that night, the phone rings, pick your contract up tomorrow, son, it's filled in. Back the next morning, I picked my contract up from the secretary. He knew I wanted a car. I'd been asking him for ages if I could get a car, but he used to say, no, you're not having a car, you're an idiot. I'll tell you when you can have a car. And he's given me a 4-year contract, £500 a week, and then a 3% rise each year for the next 4 years, a car, 25 grand signing on fee. And that's when I knew that I was going to become his number one. We played Wimbledon at home. They were first team to come with Ghetto Blaster. Vinny's walked in with on his shoulder, like, you know what I mean? Fucking Ghetto Blaster's going down, and you can see he's like thinking, what the is that? And he's stopped and he's gone, Illy, would you go and knock on their dressing room door and ask them to turn that music down? So Alan Hill goes down and he knocks on the door, and Vinnie Jones opened the door. He's captain of Wimbledon, and he stood there in a pair of slips. And Alan Hill's gone, listen, Vinny, would you mind turning the music down? Our gaffer don't like it. So Vinny's gone, yeah, no problem. So turns it down. Alan Hill comes back up to the dressing room. They turn it even louder. Illy, this time, would you say, please, can you turn the music down? So he goes down and says, please, Mr. Jones, can you turn the music down? So he turns it down, comes back up, starts again. So this time he gets up and he walks that corridor, knocks on the door, opens the door, Vinny. He walks in their dressing room. Well, this is 10 to 3, by the way.
picks the ghetto blaster up, smashes it. Now I'll play your music, Wimbledon, and comes back up to our dressing room. When I went to play for Wales and met Vinny, like Vinny told me this story, you see.
Yeah.
For my debut at Liverpool, Brian Clough, in the dressing room before the game, and I kind of have to remind myself of it. He said to me before my debut, he said, I've seen you playing, obviously I'd been playing with the reserves. He says, you can control it. And I said, yeah. He said, you can pass it. I said, yeah, and you can run. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, just do them 3 things. And that was my career. And people laugh, but a lot of players can't do them things, believe it or not.
I was a mascot for one of his last ever games and had really bad eczema on my face. Right. And they introduced me to Clough. And the first thing he said to me, he said, bloody hell, son, you are an ugly bugger. He goes, what have you been doing all afternoon? Headbutting pizzas? I said, no, it's eczema, Mr. Clough. I'm only 10 years old. He took me into the physio's office. Nigel Clough and Roy Keane are in there getting a rub down. And he goes, we got anything for this young man's face? It's me this stuff called Betnovate, which is steroid-based. I put it on, and it cleared it up like that. I go back to my GP, I'm only 10, so I used to have to go to the doctor with my mum. Yeah. And he goes, oh, God, your eczema's gone. What, have you taken wheat out of your diet or dairy? I said, oh, no, I've got some Betnovate. He said, where on earth did you get that? They tested it on horses. Don't use it on your face. It can cause skin cancer. Oh, no. I said, but Brian Clough gave it me. And he immediately went, you met Brian Clough? And my mum was like, it doesn't matter whether you met Brian Clough. Is his face going to stay on his skull?